Have you ever felt so dissatisfied with who you are that you're willing to do anything to change? Meet Josh, a man so determined to reinvent himself that he's about to cross a line that will leave him wondering if he can ever return. Josh was just like anyone else, maybe just like you. He wanted more out of life, more success, more confidence, more respect. He spent his nights scrolling through videos on how to become a better version of himself, taking notes and telling himself, "I'll be unstoppable if I just keep pushing harder." But what started as simple self-help tips soon spiraled into an obsession. Josh went beyond advice. His routines grew stricter, his diet more punishing. His workouts became brutal, each day pushing him past exhaustion. He told himself that the pain was part of the growth. If it hurts, it's working, he thought. Josh was relentless. He cut off his friends. "They're just distractions," he said. He stopped talking to his family. His focus narrowed until his entire life was a system of routines, rules, and goals. But something changed. The more he tried to improve, the less he recognized himself. One night, as Josh lay in bed, he noticed something strange. A voice in his head, questioning, criticizing, mocking him. "You're still not good enough," it whispered. He tried to brush it off, thinking he was just tired, but the voice was persistent. The voice grew louder each night, seeping into his thoughts until it was all he could hear. "You'll never be enough. No matter how hard you push, you're weak, incomplete." One morning, after barely any sleep, Josh looked in the mirror, only to see a stranger staring back. His body was worn down, his mind exhausted. He barely recognized the person he'd become. But he kept going, convinced that this was just part of the journey. Days turned to weeks, and Josh's obsession started taking its toll. He ignored the signals, constant headaches, sharp pains, blurry vision. "It's just weakness leaving the body," he told himself. But his body was reaching its breaking point. Then, one day, his body gave out. He collapsed, his heart racing uncontrollably, his vision fading to black. The world around him spun, and in that terrifying moment, he realized he was alone. Truly alone. The pursuit that had once felt so empowering had stripped him of everything else in life. When he woke up in the hospital, he was weak, barely able to lift his head. The doctors told him he'd been dangerously close to a heart attack. His family was there, worried, hurt, shocked by what he had done to himself. He saw the concern in their eyes and, for the first time, realized that his pursuit of self-improvement had become self-destruction. Josh's journey wasn't about improvement anymore. It was about control, about punishing himself for not being enough. He had pushed himself beyond his limits in the name of growth, only to end up a shell of who he once was. It was only when he was forced to stop, when his body couldn't go no further, that he understood the painful truth. Self-improvement isn't about punishing yourself. It isn't about sacrifice without end. It's about balance, about learning to respect yourself enough to grow in a healthy way. Josh recovered. Slowly. He started again, but this time with respect for his limits, knowing that true improvement isn't a sprint, it's a lifelong journey. He learned that the pursuit of greatness should never come at the cost of his own health, his own sanity, his own life. The lesson? Sometimes it's not about how hard you can push, but how much you're willing to let go. In your pursuit of better, don't forget to be kind to yourself. Because sometimes the path to greatness can be the darkest road of all. Self-improvement isn't self-destruction. Respect the journey, respect your limits, and remember, you're already enough.